Hey, Danny was really unassuming, if that's the correct word. If you walked into a pool hall, you wouldn't think he was a pool player. You'd think he was just some guy that was gonna rent a table and, bang some balls around like he did in his youth. Like one of those guys, the old hustler thing where, the Asian guy comes in, the aging, not the Asian. The aging guy comes in and it's like, I was just passing through with my painting job, and I used to do this when I was young, but I haven't done it in 25 years, one of those guys. Yeah, that thing. And that's exactly what you would think, too. You'd buy right into that story. He looked like a painter or a construction worker, some guy doing a big landscaping job in your town, and then he's going to go back to El Paso, but today it's raining, so he's in the pool. Very polite, very, very well mannered, very just, he wasn't one of these guys that just banged the doors down and said, "Where's the nearest action out here?" He's just an all-around good guy. Everybody loved him. By far, I've seen them all break balls. I've seen them all in person, and I've seen some really, really hard breaks. Danny's break was by far the hardest I've ever seen in my life. And he had that pitcher's arm. In breaking, I don't know if you know, but it's not really about power, it's about the speed of your cue. And he knew how to get, I bet he threw an awesome fastball. He knew how to get the speed of that cue. And every time he broke, it scared you. Even when you knew it was coming. I mean, it really literally scared you. So you know how like lightning comes and it's close to you and you know the thunder's coming, but it still scares the shit out of you no matter how ready you are for it. Well, that's what his break was like. And every time he broke, I wanted to go check the cue ball and the one ball for cracks. I was certain he cracked the balls. And you'd be playing in some corner of the room and he would break it, and it would literally scare the living. He wanted to duck up under the table and figure out what the hell was that. It didn't sound like a break. It sounded like a major bolt of lightning. It sounded like the thunder after a major close bolt of lightning. And yeah, it was scary. He said he was from the state of New Mexico, but he did have a slight Mexican accent. It doesn't matter, but I just up until like 2 years ago, I always thought he was from Mexico. But anyway, he had a lot of titles, and I first met him in Philadelphia when I was a little kid, and I was too shy and timid to go up and talk to him. And plus, he scared me. Once I watched him play, he was kind of like a monster to me. You have to picture a little kid. But years later, I ran into him again somewhere in Alabama. I think it was Birmingham, just at a pool hall / bar type thing. And I was just sitting there having a drink. I couldn't believe he walked in the door. And at that point, I wasn't a shy little kid anymore. So I went up and talked to him, and I told him the story of him scaring the hell out of me when I was a little kid in Philadelphia. So he had to laugh over that, and just sat around shooting his shit. He asked if I wanted to play, and it's like, Danny, you're a little bit out of my league here, but I will be honored to watch you match up with somebody. And he eventually did, and it was always just a real treat. to watch him play. And once you knew him, you're always pulling for him. You always wanted him to win, just because. And it's just he always got action everywhere he went, and he would just blow through shortstops like they were nothing. But people wanted to play him just because they liked him, and if they were going to lose money to someone, they'd rather go to him because they liked him. Maybe it'll help him out and get him further down the road or whatever. I saw him playing again in Chicago in a tournament, and beat the hell out of David Howard in the finals. David Howard from Jacksonville, Florida. A very, very good player back in the 80s. It was somewhere around the late 80s. And I went up and talked to him again, and he remembered me. Asked how I'd been. Just all around, not just a great pool player, but a great person. And never lost that incredible break. You'd be sitting around watching, and the break was coming, so you'd be looking around at, people in the stands watching, and it would scare you. You could see them all jumping when he broke. I'll never stop being impressed by his break. Buddy Hall was his biggest pool influence. Other than that, he would list, if you asked him what his influences were, he would list people that had nothing to do with pool, like family members, politicians, Christian people. He was a big Christian, big religious man. He really didn't fit the mold of an all-around pool player. Like I said from the start, you would never even think the guy was a pool player. So you can list all the top pool players, the top pros for the last 100 years. And I think Danny would be one of the most underestimated pros on that list. He was never really that household name. If you ask somebody to list the 10 best players, Danny would never be mentioned. And I think that's kind of sad. But it also worked for him to get him action. Nobody really knew. I mean, the top players knew who he was because he beat them all. But the outside world didn't really categorize him as, up there with the biggest guns. But he was. So, and I think he should be remembered as that. Danny died in 2013 of cancer. And the pool world, they didn't just lose a great player. They lost a great person and a great heart. And a real inspiration to me and thousands of other pool players. Not just to be great pool players, but to be great people.